Hi, my name is Rich Leiter, and welcome to Thoughts on Writing. My novel, Leaving Home, is really a very simple affair. It has a very simple, straightforward plot. However, there are so many digressions in it that it actually is not a very simple affair at all. There was one person I know who asked me when I told him that I had written this thing. He said, "Well, what's it about?" And I told him. I guess he wanted a one-line synopsis. He wanted to know what he was all about, the what, the content and not the form. He just wanted a very simple one-line thing there to sum it all up. So I guess so he wouldn't have to read it, and maybe he wanted me to give it to him the way that, you would give a company report, the profit and loss statement. He just wants, basically one figure summing up what the company has been doing for the last fiscal year, So, and that's unfortunate, we seem to live in a world right now where content is everything, and the way in which that content is delivered is not something that people are very interested in. So anyway, there are several characters in this book, not too many of them, and I try to make them all memorable. And there's one particular character. His name is Raymond, and I describe him in great detail. He's a very interesting and very colorful character, and I thought I would just read to you a short section which I wrote describing Raymond. So here it is. Raymond, like many people, that is to say, like many freakishly brilliant, exceptional people, eschewed the company of his own kind, preferring instead to be in the company of dunces. Now, I'm not going to get into a whole big thing here trying to explain to you just why this is exactly. That is to say, just why it is that certain people, certain extremely talented, brilliant people, would rather socialize with extremely dull people instead of with other members of their own elite tribe. They just would. That's all. They're just like that. Some of them, anyway. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that if you had confronted Raymond head on and specifically asked him why he had this thing for dunces, he would have looked at you as if you had had three heads. What? Me preferring the company of dunces? What are you talking about? What dunces? Brilliant people sometimes do that. They feign surprise. They appear bewildered, using bewilderment as a form of camouflage, just as the chameleon uses its own camouflage in order to blend in and to avoid detection. I mean, you can't just go around exuding dazzling brilliance all over the place, right? Rubbing it in people's faces, making them feel like fucking idiots, without there being certain, well, how shall I put it exactly? Certain undesirable ill effects, shall we say, certain unintended repercussions. No, you really don't want to do that. You want to put a lid on all of the dazzling brilliance and just kind of blend in like our friend, the chameleon here, if you don't want to risk being eaten alive by some nasty snake or by some nasty lizard person. Average people like average things. They mistrust brilliance. They are suspicious of brilliance. But it's not their fault, really. They just don't know any better. They were just never taught any better by real teachers, by honest teachers. When you've lived your entire life breathing nothing but foul air, it can be extremely upsetting being exposed to fresh air. Most people don't know how to handle it. They think it's dangerous. They think it's a trick. And then, when you try explaining it to them, that it's not dangerous and that it's not a trick, they kind of look at you like you're a nut or something. The true prisoner is his own jailer. Anyway, whatever his motives might or might not have been, one thing was perfectly clear. Raymond, the real brain, Levashevsky, gravitated towards dunces the way that vultures gravitated towards roadkill. Being around them seemed to make him merry, to buoy his spirits, to fill some void. And so, naturally, he tended to seek them out with an uncommonly calculating and distinct robustness. For instance, there was this one particular low-life bar located on 11th Street and Broadway, right next to Ray's famous original pizza, which Raymond absolutely loved going to. That was his main ordinary people hangout, the place, which he usually frequented in order to soak up the healing vibes of your everyday average fuck-up. Your everyday average wife beater or child molester or problem drinker or commie agitator or dope fiend or petty drug dealer or grifter or ex-convict. The place was a real dive, a real shithole for losers. Maybe all of them weren't losers. Maybe some of them were actually winners. Fine, upstanding, solid citizens with fine, upstanding, solid jobs. Businessmen, plumbers, car mechanics, gym teachers. Although I personally couldn't tell the difference between the child molesters and the gym teachers. To me, they all looked like child molesters, like wife beaters, like drug addicts. Hey, wait a minute. Here's a thought. Maybe, just maybe, in reality, they were all grad students. All of these various malcontents and assorted deadbeats. And maybe, just maybe, they all had suddenly just realized in the same terrifying and crushing moment that, yes, indeed, it was quite true. They still had to pay back all of those astronomical student loans of theirs, in spite of the fact that they were all unemployed. That would certainly have explained everything, wouldn't it? All of the dazed looks, all of the vacant stares, all of the blank expressions, all of the blunted affects. Goodbye, graduate school. Hello, public assistance. Goodbye, ivory tower. Hello, urban jungle. Goodbye, sushi. Hello, McDonald's and Burger King. Goodbye, fair-haired golden dreams of becoming a somebody in a world of nobodies. Hello, hard-edged, hellish reality of being nothing more than a soulless statistic.